everyone lifts each other and builds each other up. And I've talked about this kind of stuff too before. It's too difficult to do shit on your own, man. You like, I know the work comes from you, but you like, you know what I mean? You're liaising with other people. You're interacting with them. You're learning how to benefit them so they benefit you. And this is something you talked about too with this seller, is like you always wanted to bring them value. And I think this is something that's really important in all areas of life. I think too many people come to situations looking at, what are you going to do for me? What are other people going to do for me? And I think that's not the right way to look at things. Does that make sense? Like, what kind of value can you give to other people? Because when you give value to other people, it's returned in some way. It might take 5 years for it to be returned, but it will return at some point in time. Does that make sense?
It does. And what you said before, though, we can't do everything. We need to maybe consider outsourcing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am today without the team around me.
Yeah.
And I've got Julie, who is like my general manager, right? She's comes on listings with me. She meets all my sellers. She organises cookies. She organises all the branding, right?
Yeah.
Julie, she does everything. And then you got Nico too. So Nico does all the buyer work, and he often will bring on a seller as well. Then I got Igor, who's a hustler, and he just makes phone calls all day and goes out on the streets and drops letters. And this team unit makes me look good. And I'm very grateful to have good people under me who assist me. And you know what? Not even under, parallel with me is how it needs to be framed, because if I'm benefiting their profile, they win as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why Jules comes on, or Nico comes on, and eventually Igor will come on stuff if he brings stuff on. So everything's set up so that we all win. They win, I'm winning.
Yeah.
That's how I see bosses in other agencies doing things very differently, where it's all about them. It's not about the others.
Yeah.
That'll only get you so far.
Right.
So
or
how have you found that?
it'll only last for a certain period of time. It's just a very like mature kind of mindset and stuff, like of leadership. So this is like the thing you're talking about is understanding how to have lead a team, or just leadership in general. Like where did you come to the realization of these kind of skills, where like other people are necessary and it's important to allow them to flourish, but you also have to find like a symbiotic relationship between each person and partner and people involved inside the situation. It's no different than a romantic relationship, honestly. Like there has to be a certain level of compatibility, but there also has to be a certain level of leadership. Does that make sense?
It's tricky because humans are emotional beings. Sometimes, say Jill, she's a mother with 2 kids. She's got so much other stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have kids. I'm all in on work, but, she might come in and, she might have had stuff going on, but she's still every day 100%. And I try to be 100%, and I'm sometimes 90, or I might be 80, and, one of the boys might be 50, and then I might come in at 50, but she's always 100. Like, every day we're emotional beings, and there's stuff going on in our personal life. But when it's work, I could swear we all just turn it on. On open days, when we're doing listing presentations, we're just on. And people love energy. People like dealing with us because we are high energy, but also straight shooters.
Yeah.
Because you can read through the BS as well.
Yeah.
So you got to be mindful of that. But I don't know, I just think that once you sort of drop ego out of it as well, there's lots going on, but people are emotional, cool, understand that. People are going to react differently to things. Humans are unpredictable.
Yeah.
But one thing that is common is everyone's got an ego.
Yeah.
Once that's managed, well, everything else is fine. Because the only thing that gets in the way in our business is ego. That's my client. That's my deal. That's me. That should be. If we would just pull that back a little bit, and we're all sort of winning, because if they're winning, I'm winning.
But
then it moves smoothly.
do you help them manage that, or are they advanced enough in their own kind of?
They're very advanced,
Okay.
yeah.
So are you just lucky that you fell into this good team, or you selecting them specifically?
Hand-picked, but at the same time, the universe aligned us as well. It wasn't like Julie applied for a Seek and Nico applied for a Seek. And no, I don't do Seek. I don't even know what Seek. I've never applied for a job on Seek. This business is very personable, a relationship, network, something we've, checked in on a couple of times, but used to call auctions. Julie used to be an agent at one of the firms I called auctions for. She wanted to go a little bit further. I needed an associate at the time. Yeah. We thought we were going to hire her so she could go out on her own, but I thought hang on, she's so good, I'd like to work with her. So that's how that worked. And then Nico came along because Julie knew Nico. And then Igor came along because he actually hustled me. And he'd always called me week in, week out. I'm like, man, you're relentless and I want that in my business. Let's just hire you. Because you're annoying me too. Because you keep calling me. Let's just make this happen.
Fair enough. No, man, that's interesting.